Hey everyone, it's John with KGTropicals.com. It's Saturday, August 3rd, 2013. Welcome to this edition of Tank Talk. I apologize for missing you last week. It's been a busy couple of weeks for us in here, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's been crazy and I just missed it and I apologize, but I'm back now. I got a couple of good things to update you on, and then we'll move on to the topic of the day. Now, the first things first, how's this sound? Can you hear that whistling sound? If you can hear it, it should be far less than it was before. I did some work on the blower. The sound is dramatically better in here in the store. Hopefully it is on these videos too. I know the camera microphone is really sensitive, but tried to get that whistling sound out of these videos, so hopefully it worked. The next big announcement, this is a big announcement, that is we have teamed up with a new supplier for our African cichlids. I wish I could say that I bred every single fish that we sell in here or on our website, but the reality is we're breeding right now about 20 different kinds of fish. So if we were only selling 20 kinds of fish, we wouldn't go very far. So we have to bring in cichlids from somewhere else. And the supplier that we were using before had great fish, but they were just having a hard time getting them to us. So we had to find somebody that was a little bit more reliable and had good fish at the same time. The company that we have found is by far the company we should have used from the beginning. This company is one of the first companies to import African cichlids from Africa way back. They've been in business for over 40 years. They are one of the pioneers of African cichlids in this country, and they're probably the best breeder you will ever find. And we are getting their fish now. So I'm super stoked about that. We went up on Friday to Baltimore, BWI Airport, and picked up our first shipment of fish from them, and they are fantastic. Finally, we have a whole bunch of fish on our website that are available. If you went on the website a couple of weeks ago, maybe you wanted to take advantage of the free OB special, you said, they don't have anything. Well, it's because our supplier couldn't get them to us. So now we've got them. Now they're on the website. The hard fish to find, like Angaras and Eureka Reds, and I could go on and on and on, Bucanotos. But we got it all settled. We got over 300 fish delivered to us, or we went and picked up over 300 fish the other day, and they are all fantastic. They're on the website. Get on there. We're still doing the special on the OBs, so you can still take advantage of that. A lot of people have. We started out with over 50, and look now. We still have quite a few left, so you can still take advantage of the special, but we have far less than we did before. So definitely get on that really quick. So, oh, you're probably wondering, well, is he going to tell us who this supplier is? The answer is no, I'm not. Well, I was talking to the owner the other day, and I told him I'm really excited. I got a YouTube channel. I got over 2,000 subscribers. I can't wait to tell them about doing business with you. And he said, John, don't. He said, tell them all you want about me, but don't tell them who I am, because we don't deal direct with the public. We only deal with retailers. So out of respect for him, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but if you look up who are the biggest breeders, who are the pioneers of bringing African cichlids to this country, you'll find out who I'm talking about. And please, another pet peeve of mine, this has happened to me in the past, please don't figure it out and put it in the comment section of this video. I mean, I've had it before where I've talked about things that I've said I don't want to talk about, and then some idiot will go on the comment section and put it in there like he's the smartest guy in the world. I hate that. If you figure out who it is, good for you. Don't put it in the comment section in this video. Whew, sorry, had to go off there for a second. Topic of the day. Topic of the day is going to be a tricky one. It's going to be a short one. And the reason for it, I had a really good one today. I've gone on a little longer about the whole supplier thing because my good topic that I was going to talk about, well, it's already been talked about. I was browsing through YouTube the other day, going through the people that I subscribe to, and the Rick put out a video on his channel talking about exactly what I was going to talk about. Now, he didn't steal it from me. He didn't know I was going to talk about it. But when I saw that, I said, man, now I got to change up my topic. I was going to talk about buying African cichlids. I'll talk about it later. but I'm not going to do it the day after he put his video out. I've had that happen to me. Pardon my language, it pissed me off. I put out a video, I'm not going to tell you which one, but I put out a video, and it was a good one. And literally the next day, somebody else did a video almost identical to the one I did, where they were literally saying the exact same things I said. So I didn't want that to happen. I got respect for Rick. I love his channel. He's a funny guy. Check out his channel if you haven't already. Not going to steal a topic from him. So instead, we're going to talk about two things. One, maintenance schedules. I got this suggestion from CAC786422391 is his name on YouTube. He had suggested I talk about maintenance schedules. Now, I think when he suggested that, he was asking me to talk about the hobbyist, what a hobbyist can expect as far as maintenance in their aquariums. Well, I'm not going to talk about that today because I'm saving that for my Fish Keeping 101 series. I promise you I'm working on that. It's going to be in there, kind of a how-to on how to do the maintenance, but instead I figured I would talk about what we do in here, because I get a lot of people that ask us about that. How often do we do water changes? How do we do our water changes? Who does the water changes? All of that. So I thought I'd talk about that for a minute, move on to a question that I have for you, and then we'll be done. So, maintenance schedules. Before I go into this any farther, the very first thing that I must say is 70%, maybe even 75% of the water changes or the maintenance that gets done in this building is done by Lisa, not by me. It's not because I'm lazy, it's because I actually work two businesses and I'm not in here every day. You probably don't know that I have another business, but unfortunately I have to in order to keep the bills paid. So I'm out of this place a few days a week out working my other business, and Lisa is in here doing a lot of the maintenance that needs to be done. I wish I could be in here every day, but we're just not there yet. So if y'all would go on the website and start ordering fish, then maybe we would be, or maybe I would be in here full time. But anyway, she does about 75% of the maintenance in this building because she's in here 6 days a week and I'm only in here about 3 days a week, sometimes 4. But what we do in here to keep everybody happy and everybody alive in here is we change about 30% of the water in every single tank in this building once a week. Now, the big tank, the 240 that I'm usually sitting in front of on these videos, that one I do about 50% every week, and I completely drain the sump every single week in that tank. I've got about 60 fish in there, and a lot of those fish are really big, so I do more of a water change in that tank than we do in all of the smaller tanks. But all of the other ones get about 30% a week, and we do it the old-fashioned way. We have a 35-gallon trash can on wheels that we wheel around, and we drain the tanks right into those, into the trash can. Then we pour that out and fill it up again, and then we refill with a python that actually hooks up to our sink. Now you might be asking, well, how come you don't use the python for the whole thing? Long story short, this building's on a well. The well on this building is crap. It was killing fish. We can't use the well water here for this building, so we've actually had to hook up to city water from our neighbor's house. We're not stealing it. Our neighbor owns this building. And so we're hooked up to city water now, and the pressure, because it goes through his house and then goes through this building and then gets to our spigot or our faucet, the water pressure is really low and it can't pull on a python. So I wish we could use that, but the water pressure is just too low for it. Python, best system ever invented, as far as I'm concerned, for doing at-home aquarium maintenance. We'll get into that in the Fish Keeping 101 series. So we do it the old-fashioned way, with a siphon tube into the trash can, and then we refill it with the hose that is hooked up to the python. We use API tap water conditioner for all of our tanks. I do put salt in most of the tanks, particularly the African tanks, to bring up the pH and bring up the hardness a little bit in those tanks. But one of the things that I've learned from one of the legends in this business is, and this is from his mouth, not from an article, you can maintenance yourself to death. And what he meant was, simple is better. Our tanks in this store, most of them are on a sponge filter. That's it. And they do extraordinarily well. We don't lose a lot of fish in this building. And so it's working. Sponge filters work really, really well. Now, if I had my way, we would have a huge centralized system where we could click a valve and do water changes. I mean, that would be a beautiful thing. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to hook up a system like that yet. So we do what we can do. We do it manually. It's not a whole lot of fun, but you know what? For anybody who comes in this store and says, I'd love to have an aquarium, but it's just too much maintenance. I don't have time to do all that. Oh, I get so mad when I hear that, because I'm like, I do about 60 tanks a week. Lisa does about 200 tanks a week, and you're complaining about having to do one? Oh, it makes me mental. But it's not that much work if you only have one tank. But in here, it's a lot, and it's really something that we should have somebody in here doing full time. But unfortunately, we can't do that yet. Again, if y'all would start ordering fish off the internet, we would be able to do it. So, what are you waiting for? All right, now, so to recap, I'm sorry, I'm going all crazy here. To recap, 30% of the water we do in this building every single week. It's a lot of work, but we have to do it. Otherwise, we would be housing a bunch of dead fish. Lisa does most of the work. I got to make sure I mention that. The last thing I want to talk about is something that I'm going to upload in another video, but I want to talk about something here that I think is going to be a lot of fun. And that is, what's your favorite African cichlid? I want people to respond to this in the comment section. Tell me what your favorite African cichlid is. I've got mine, but I'm not going to tell you in this video because I'm doing a video all about it. So be looking for that. Let's get some conversation going about what's your favorite African cichlid. We'll have some fun with it. All right? So thank you. I know this was kind of a mixed up tank talk, and I apologize about that. We'll get back on the ball next week, I promise. Get you something a little bit more organized. But thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging in there. Sorry to miss you last week. We will see you next week. I promise.